What's up, comic book fans? Pete here from Comic Books Transformed, where me and my good friend Brian over there discuss comics that have been adapted into movies and streaming shows. One of our favorite things to cover on this channel is the show Fallout, which, you wouldn't automatically assume there's a comic book connected to it, but who really gives a shit? Because Brian really loves video games, and I like Fallout Shelter, so that's why we talk about Fallout.
Oh, so are we going to cover the reality series Fallout Shelter when it comes out?
I'm sure if you want to.
Sometimes we're both going to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, this is what happens, guys. Brian keeps sending me these messages of hey, check out this cool thing, and it's last week there was a chicken place, a fried chicken place or hot chicken place that had stem packs that you can get as a little Happy Meal. This week, you want to tell them what you were showing me?
This week, this might have been out for a while, and I only just discovered it. But there's a Fallout soda pack that's only being sold at Costco, I think. So it comes with like a Nuka-Cola, a grape flavor, the Sunset Sarsaparilla, where the former what is his name? The former Brotherhood guy who's now like a super mutant or whatever. Where he was had the sweatshop with the kids.
Yes.
And then Nuka-Cola Quantum in a 12-pack of bottles, and I want it. I'm pretty sure I've had a Fallout branded soda before somewhere at some point, probably a promotional material with one of the games in the past. But these are new, and I want them.
Dude, I don't blame you. I have a Sam's Club membership, and I'm like, damn it, I gotta get a Costco membership, or at least know someone that's got one.
Yeah, I'm trying to find somebody that has one. There's tons of Costco's around me, but no, I don't have any memberships like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, a few things that you've messaged me about, include these sort of tie-in materials, but then also we had this kind of debate, maybe 2 episodes ago, or it was even last episode, where it was is the Death Claw mostly CGI? Is there some practical effects going on? And then I think we both kind of shared videos saying that it was puppetry, basically.
Yeah. I mean, that video says, because that was Walton Goggins answering that, right? That video.
Right. Yeah.
So, but he says that, I fully 100% believe that in the flashback Alaska scene, that was puppetry. But still, like the beginning of this episode, the end of the last one, if that's puppetry, that's incredible.
Yes.
So I'm skeptical about that, but still.
Yeah, I think it's probably like Jurassic Park, where there is CGI involved, but a lot of it is practical effects. I like that one shot they showed in that video, they showed the Death Claw kind of rising up, and it broke the ceiling of the building that it was in. I think that's probably CGI,
Yeah.
But we shared that. Then there was talk about the guy that helped out Maximus, that was his squire for a while, and he was in that factory with the kids, and a lot of them were ghouls or on their way to becoming ghouls. And you were bringing up this really great point last episode where it was maybe he's not a ghoul, but he might be something else. And then the video suggested that he might be a mutant. I think we're definitely going somewhere in this show with mutants. Would you agree?
I agree, especially after this episode. Yeah. So we want to get into that now, or we want to wait till we just hit it?
Yeah. Well, okay. So this episode, I'm finding it a little bit difficult to talk about this episode because I felt like it felt different than other Fallout episodes. It felt a little weird. Did you feel that way or no?
I don't think it felt weird, but I actually loved this episode.
Yeah.
I really dug all the flashback stuff with Cooper and Mr. House. I thought that was extra good, and the juxtaposition between that stuff and what's happening in the present with Lucy and the ghoul and the snake oil salesman.
Yeah.
So,
why don't we? Yeah, let's because we like to do it where we talk about each character's storyline in the episode. So why don't we just jump right into Coop / the ghoul? One of the coolest things, I kind of jumped when they did this, but they did this kind of shot where it was the profile of, I think it was the profile of Coop, and he's in a flashback and he's downing some alcohol, and then it cut to the ghoul downing some alcohol at the same time, and that was kind of startling. I really love that.
I really liked so that kind of ends one scene and also comes back over another. So the first time that happens is after Coop meets with Mr. House. I also really liked how they sort of explained why there was a different looking guy that was Mr. House in the previous season. That so the real one's paying an actor to play him for whatever reason. I really like that. I don't know if that's from the game lore or anything like that, but if it was, that's cool. But if it's not, it's also cool. I like it. I like when they explain stuff. It's cool.
Absolutely.
But the conversation that he had with Mr. House was basically like, I'm not the problem here. Like, I'm not the bad guy. I'm trying to defend the city. That's why I need this thing from your wife, I guess the coal fusion reactor. And he's like, I'm not the one that's gonna drop the bombs. And he hasn't figured that out yet. He has this whole computer network or systems with his kind of probability predictions, and he can't figure out who actually drops the bombs, which I found interesting. I thought they were kind of leaning towards that it was him that did it. Again, not sure if the game's already ruled that out.
Right.
But maybe I'll get there someday.
Yeah. Well, okay. So that kind of is where this issue lies, where I feel like it was kind of a strange episode, because you're watching something and you feel like you understand it, you know where it's going, especially if you're a season and a half into something. But like Mr. House's revelation made things seem like a lot deeper than the show lets on, right? Like, I mean, we could just kind of jump ahead and then maybe we could backtrack if we need to. But essentially what happens is House is totally aware that Cooper has been sent to kill him. And Cooper has made the stand saying he's not going to, like, he's going to see what he can do on his own to, like, stop this guy or, like, confront this guy. And House, right off the bat, is like, I know that you're here to kill me. And he puts on this thing on his head by the end of that scene where it looks kind of like this thing that Rick Moranis has on his head in Ghostbusters when they take him in.
Or Doc Brown in Back to the Future.
Right. It's essentially the same kind of device, right? Very good point. And he's saying that, like, he doesn't know who drops the bombs. I mean, you just said that. And I think he's kind of almost implying that, like, Cooper might have something to do with the bombs being dropped. And one of the key pieces of information that he revealed was the date that the bombs are supposed to be dropped is the same day as Cooper's daughter's birthday.
Yeah, he said to the effect that that Cooper coming to Vegas accelerated the timeline by a month. And now that date is the date of his daughter's birthday, which I don't understand. Because when it doesn't make sense, because in the first season, the flashback we saw with Coop and his daughter, we do see the bomb drop. We do see that date. I don't think we know what date it is from that episode, but Coop was working at a birthday party, as a character from one of his movies, and his daughter is there, and they're running away there. So I would find it odd if Coop is working on his daughter's birthday and bringing her there.
Right. I completely agree.
But then again, wait a minute. Wasn't he trying to get her a piece of cake or something? Like, wasn't that like am I crazy, or was that something that was actually in the episode?
I think we'll have to go back to Amazon Prime and, see what happened.
That episode.
Yeah, I mean, it's the cold open, right? So it'll be easy to rewatch real quickly.
It was the cold open. Yeah, that'll be a quick watch. But I'm so fascinated by trying to disconnect how how we are at this moment in the present past, where they're in Vegas and Coop's still with Barbara, and then to the point where he's kind of rock bottom, doing kids' birthday parties. How do we get from there to there? They still seem like they're of a certain status, when they're in Vegas. So how much time passes? What happens?
Right. Well, because Mr. House reveals that it's like the year 2065, and I don't know what year it is in that flashback already. Like, is it 2065 or is it like 2063? What time is it? It must be relatively close, right? Because the daughter is sort of the same age in the flashbacks in this season and the flashbacks in the first season?
Yes. Yeah. Wait, have they?
They showed the daughter
this season.
Absolutely, they showed the daughter because what happens is in one of the flashbacks, he's found out his wife is talking about dropping the bombs. He has his daughter collect her stuff. Like he tells her to get like 3 outfits and get some stuff, and then they go driving, and there's sirens for a bomb attack, but then it's just a drill, you know?
Yeah, like you're right about that. So yeah, so it doesn't seem like much time has passed between those 2 points.
Right. So, like going along with like this moment in particular is the thing that kind of rattled me because, like, to imply that Cooper is somehow directly connected to the bombs dropping is almost too much for me to like take in because you know with shows you kind of get the type of story they're trying to tell, and this show has done a really excellent job of being like, okay, it's showing that like money and power, there are people like working behind the scenes, they don't care about the mass group of people, they care about like their select group of people. And so everything kind of ties back to this: the people in power want to run everything and they're willing to destroy the world to do it. Got it.
That unfortunately sounds so familiar.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. But then the problem is like with the idea of like Cooper somehow being connected to the apocalypse directly, it's like hinting that there's something like darker in him, or that it almost might be his destiny to do it. And to me, it's like that doesn't really line up. Now, they might do something extremely clever and show how his actions somehow trigger it all. But I felt like the show doesn't usually go in that direction. Does that make sense, any of the stuff I just said?
I do understand what you're trying to say. It does make sense, but I do slightly disagree. I think there's going to be some indirect action that Cooper takes that may cause it. I don't think he has a finger on the trigger and he's pulling this setting this bomb off. He looks genuinely surprised when he sees that mushroom cloud and he starts running away there, or he doesn't because they had that whole line about if the mushroom cloud is however big, don't even bother running. So it's just that's another question too. It's like they made it seem like they couldn't get away when that bomb dropped, but it sounds obviously Coop is still alive. They show the capsule where his wife and daughter are kept in Vegas. So how do these things connect? At what point do they connect? Is there a little ghoul in that in the daughter's capsule, or is it empty?
Yes, thank you. That's a really important part that we need to kind of discuss. I think we can kind of transition. This is sort of talking about Lucy's father, Kyle MacLachlan. Like they show the special vault that he's in, and they make it a point to show that Cooper's daughter's capsule is in there and Cooper's wife's capsule is in there. And they scan over Cooper's wife's capsule, and it's all blue, which can make things ambiguous. Is there a person in there? Is there not a person in there? When they've shown people in capsules before, right? Has it been blue like that, or have you like seen the people inside?
I feel like you've seen the people, but maybe they, I mean, obviously they're trying to make it a little ambiguous there, so it's not giving away too much there. But I think the fact that they don't show anything whatsoever there is you're supposed to be drawing some kind of conclusion from that, or some kind of hypothesis.
Right. And besides that, like they do scan over the wife's whole capsule and it's sealed, but then when they go up towards the daughter's capsule, they just show her name. They don't show the capsule itself, which could mean that like the capsule's been opened, it's empty,
Yeah, and you had that theory last week saying that the girl that Norm has been becoming friendly with kind of looks like the right ethnicity to match Jaina. And her story currently is that she just signed up at Vault-Tec a week ago, or just started employed. She doesn't seem to know anything that anybody else knows. So I'm kind of thinking that you might not be that far off now. And then maybe that's a cover story that she's sticking to because she was just kind of jammed in. Oh no, that wouldn't make sense because she was in 31, not in Vegas. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very complex show, and we could actually talk about that Norm part. now if you want. Like where it's like he's with these people, they go into this building, and then we get the woman from the first season that you can play in Fallout Shelter. She shows up with like a lover of hers, and she basically,
Muldoon, yes.
yeah. She gives like a recap of season 1 to Norm about Lucy. And the way that scene ends, or actually, well, there's a separate scene, but the way that whole like Norm's whole story ends, like kind of that kind of tripped me out too.
Yeah, I was disappointed we didn't get a more of a resolution there. So what happens is that Norm is talking to that girl. I don't know if she has a name yet. I don't remember,
Right.
but she's basically saying like, you seem different here, and she kind of figures out like, hey, you're not from the program, you don't know these things, right? And he admits it, but that guy who was Bud Askins' assistant overhears them, and then after the girl walks out, he goes to attack him, and then he like chokes him out. He's not dead because you hear him kind of like gasping for air, but he's clearly been captured at best.
Right. Yeah, and I'm like, where the fuck is this gonna go next, right? I mean, they clearly make a point, like you just said, he makes a little noise. He goes like, after he's been choked and he's on the ground, to like show the audience, okay, he's not dead, so don't think that he's dead. But it's like, what'll happen next? Like, is this guy gonna like kind of tie him up and reveal the truth to everyone? I don't really know. Out of all the story arcs going on right now, I don't really know where this particular one is going.
I feel like I have an idea here. So I think so. This is where we started talking. We're finally getting to it. Actually, we started talking about the snake oil salesman and his role with Lucy and the ghoul at the end there. So he is actually being mind controlled by Lucy's father, by Hank. And he is the one that gave Maximus' squire the shot that makes him something other than a ghoul, because he still has his nose intact. The squire guy still has his nose intact, and he heals extremely rapidly. They made a point to show the ghoul healing in various parts. It's not as quick as what that squire does. Like he had an arrow or some kind of bolt shot through his neck. He pulled it out and it healed like Wolverine. So I think the idea is that the snake oil salesman gave him some form of the forced evolutionary virus, making him a mutant. And I believe that the snake oil salesman has taken that himself, because they sort of look similar. They kind of have a similar, like, weird facial features, like like the color of the skin, and they kind of protrude in a certain manner. They look very similar now. So I think that the reason why Hank was able to control him is because he has that same serum in his blood, and it's healing him to a degree. So his head didn't explode when he had the thing there. So I think that this group is going to somehow link up with Hank, and they're going to figure out that the forced evolutionary virus is what allows the mind control thing to work.
Yes, I agree with you on that one too. And I really like how they illustrated that, because they essentially did the same kind of sequence that Hank had been doing, where like you would have a person and he'd be sitting across the table from him. Then the camera would pan to like the window behind them, and you see the person's brains splatter against there. They go to do that exact same shot, but then there's no brains. And so it's like, okay, well, there's something different about this guy. And so you and I have kind of talked a little bit about, like in our chat, the idea of like there being a force to give the Brotherhood of Steel a run for their money. That's kind of what I was saying, was like, I was thinking the Brotherhood of Steel would need some kind of opponents to fight in a battle. And it might be that these people from 31 are going to take that, like have that virus and have the microchips put on them because of Hank. And then they would be opponents for the Brotherhood of Steel.
Potentially. So we also didn't get any Brotherhood from this in this episode. What was this? Is 5?
This is 5, yeah.
5. So 5. I also wouldn't rule out that the Brotherhood stuff, like that whole Civil War thing, happens off screen.
Yeah.
And it was just a catalyst to get Maximus out of there and away from him. So I think we'll definitely have Maximus and his squire run into some group at some point. But I'm not 100% sure that the Brotherhood itself factors into this whole end of the season.
Yeah.
I imagine it's got to be like crazy expensive to stage a battle of power armor suits and super mutants. Any kind of battle scene would be costly,
Right. Yeah, and as a matter of fact, Brian, I kept thinking about that, and I was like, okay, just because they had a battle at the end of the last season, and the Brotherhood was like such a major part of it, and that was almost like it's like the second to last scene in the first season, where like the Brotherhood now has this source of energy. I was like, well, this is going somewhere, this is building up, but it could just be that they all just destroy themselves, and then Maximus has the cold fusion with him, and then he's now like a target for maybe Lucy's father or anybody,
Yeah, that cold fusion energy is going to be important to something, I think. And that's why he's been separated from the Brotherhood story-wise.
Yeah, like, did Vegas have electricity in it? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think it did, yeah. I mean, it must have. I mean, yeah, because Vegas wasn't destroyed. So all the signs were lit up and everything?
That's right. They are lit up, yeah. Yeah, I loved seeing all the people like on the strip, and it was like a real populated area. That's another thing that made it a weird episode though too, is that you have like these death claws. Like you see one, then all of a sudden there's like fucking two more, and you're like, oh my god, what is gonna happen? How are they gonna survive this?
Yeah.
And Lucy even says, like, do you have anything that could help or whatever? And he's like, do you have a rocket launcher? And I was like, that made me think of Fallout Shelter, how like the rocket launcher is pretty damn good there. Yeah. But then she's like, well, what are you supposed to do? And then he says, run. And then they essentially run. And then that's the end of the scene. And then the next scene is them like walking around during the day, and it's populated. Like it was a bit of like a big jump,
Yes, that was confusing to me because it seems like they ended up in Freeside, which is the place that he said was like a half day's walk around or something. To get to the other side. So maybe they just cut through the center of the city and got to it, because it seems like those death claws are right behind that fence, right outside that little city area. Which seems crazy.
Right. Because it's almost like they're penned in there by the humans, right?
Yes, that's what I was thinking. But like, what's really keeping them in there?
Right. Well, and see, that kind of ties us back to what we were saying about Cooper too, because one thing that House reveals, there's a lot of exposition, there's a lot of things being discussed in that scene, but he says, I was with you when you were in Alaska. I had developed that armor, and I was able to like look through your armor and see what you were seeing. And I saw that demon, I think he called it a demon in the snow.
Yeah.
And so he was like, I feel like that has something to do with the future or humanity's future. Right. So really ambiguous stuff, but like somehow death claws are connected to Mr. House and what might be going on with him in Vegas right now.
Yeah, there's lots of things to consider here, and I'm really enjoying making these kind of connections and seeing where they could go, because I feel like some of these things don't feel like too out there in terms of like fantasy booking, as we call it.
Right.
So I'm very curious to see where it goes.
So are death claws mutated humans, or are they like a whole nother species?
I thought they were mutated like chameleons or something like that, but
okay,
I could be totally wrong.
Okay. Yeah, it's worth looking up. Yeah. I think I've watched like a whole YouTube video on them before too. But let's see. We were talking about like the Brotherhood. I mean, we've been jumping all around, but I feel like the episode kind of jumped all around too, Was there anything else with Cooper? Oh, well, one thing that's really important with Cooper too is that his arc, when it comes to the flashbacks, ends with him returning home from Vegas, or he's in the hotel in Vegas, and his wife is with him, and he's gotten really drunk after his meeting with House. She's kind of nursing him back to health, and then he says, we need to talk.
Okay, hold on. Before that, though, so he kind of goes, after the meeting with House, he kind of goes on a little drinking bender. He's grabbing every drink he can see. At some point, some woman walks up to him and like asks him for a kiss and a picture or something. Was that Stephanie Harper?
Who's that?
The one-eyed overseer.
Oh fuck! I didn't even like look. Damn it. I don't know. Maybe it was. That'd be really cool if it was.
Yeah, I feel like that was like a blink and you miss it kind of thing. And then I meant to go look it up, and I just completely forgot about it until you just talked about that scene right now.
So I'm
really curious. That would be really interesting because they're really connecting everything together, which is great.
Fuck. We need to go back and like rewatch the last episode, rewatch the first episode,
watch the whole show over again.
Yeah, might as well, right? I actually really like that he was riding a missile like a mechanical bull. Like they had mechanical bull as a missile. I really like that too. All right. So then let's talk about Lucy and the ghoul in the modern day.
Yes. So yeah, they start off by getting away from the Death Claws, and they are, the ghoul is kind of experiencing some PTSD from seeing them, I think. So he goes to get drunk. He gives Lucy some money to go get some Addictol to kind of clear her out of her addiction to buff out, which is the thing you can do in the game. And we've kind of seen addicted Lucy has kind of had some of the ghoul kind of rub off on her in a way. So she's a lot more looser with her morals, and she kills all those ghouls before. So she sees that the price has skyrocketed for Addictol. She doesn't have enough money for it, so she sneaks in the back to steal it. And then she realizes that the person in there already killed the shop owner, and she shoots him. And I don't think she intended to kill him, but clearly does. And then kind of jets out of there. And she's saying, like, I don't know who I am anymore, sort of.
Right. She says, like, I'm going to have to shoot and maim you, but then she shoots him and he's dead. I actually liked that sequence. And it was, like, actually really creepy that the shop owner was, like, in a garbage, like a metal garbage can.
Yeah, all like, hold up,
yeah. Yeah. What's also tripping me out is that the way that I've positioned myself in front of the camera, like the legs of, I don't know, maybe Maximus or something is right underneath me. So it looks like I have this giant upper body and then these tiny little like baby legs. Yeah. No, so okay. I also really love that when she gets that detox thing, she just vomits like right in the middle of the street. That was a great comedic moment. And then we have the scene where the snake oil salesman finds them in the hotel. He basically gives them Hank's ultimatum, which is like, if they continue to go after Hank is going to wake up the ghoul's daughter and wife, and that could potentially kill them. Or the ghoul could take her back or allow her to be taken back to her vault.
Yeah. Right? So that was an interesting proposition. So we also see here that, the ghoul's intention with bringing Lucy along the entire time was to use her in some kind of bargaining chip with Hank to get his family back. So I feel like, this whole thing implies that Hank's going to do some really messed up shit, and he wants Lucy to be safe underground somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't understand why waking up his wife and daughter could cause complications, because didn't Norm just wake up like everybody in another vault? Unless those tubes are different for some reason, or that experiment is different, or he's just bluffing because he knows they're supposed to be there, but they're not actually there.
That too. I had those exact same thoughts too. Yes. So, there's still more to find out. How many episodes are in the season? I know I asked you this like every fucking time we record.
I want to say it's 8.
Okay, so we have 3 more. Yeah.
Yeah, this is great content here. There's me searching things on Google.
Well, you were also looking up Death Claws, I'm guessing, when we were.
But it's a little too hard to figure that out. There's 8 episodes, so there's 3 more.
So there's only 3 more. Okay. There's quite a lot of stuff set up, and I know, like, I actually saw the next time on Fallout section, and they did show like Maximus and his friend walking through the desert. I don't know, so we'll see them next episode. One other thing I was going to ask you about too, because when Mama June or whatever her name is, when she was talking to Norm, she said that she was in Khan country. Is that referring to the Roman guys, or is that something else?
I don't know actually.
Yeah. Because she was basically telling Norm that she thinks that Lucy's dead based on her like trajectory, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I maybe because yeah, she recaps the whole battle of Philly and then where they were heading. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, okay. Regardless, you know, I could look that up, you know, too as well. You're doing all the research over there. You looked up the 8 episodes. I was gonna say though, the way the episode ends off is kind of crazy too. Like the ghoul shoots her with a tranquilizer dart. She's got that like that arm. Do you know what it's called?
The Power Fist.
Okay, Power Fist. And then like they've shown that image of the ghoul falling out the window like before the episode starts, like every time. They're like, check out Fallout on Amazon Prime, blah blah blah. So it's a really cool image, and I've been wanting to see it. But then he fucking like just gets impaled.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not dead though.
No, he's not dead. You see the one thing I remember from the preview too is that you see him pulling himself up on the big spikes. So, oh man.
Yeah. So like he can't die?
I guess not. I mean, I'm sure he could die, but I'm sure it's like he's got increased durability because of whatever drugs are in his system or radiation that's keeping him alive is repairing him in some manner.
Yeah. I mean, I know you and I used to talk about zombies a lot, and you would say that one phrase, kill the brain, kill the ghoul.
Yep.
Probably like a headshot would take him out, you know?
I imagine so, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, there was quite a bit to unpack in this episode. I liked it. There were certainly moments that stood out. Was there anything else you wanted to like reference in this episode or that you wanted to talk about?
No, yeah, just that I really love the flashback scenes in the show. I love that they're, you know, given all this history and this back and forth, and I love that you know, there's so much to speculate about. It's my favorite thing about watching TV shows like this. Is just talk about what happened and how it could connect in the future and what could happen. I live for it.
Yeah. And I like talking about the show with you. So, and then whenever you send me these random images of like Fallout time material that I can maybe potentially buy, I'm down, you know?
I'll let you know if I get any Nuka-Colas.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Well, then I guess that's pretty much it. You know, Brian and I will be back next week to talk about some more Fallout. We got some other stuff coming up though soon. You know, we got Invincible coming up eventually on Amazon as well. You know, the Spider-Man movie, Wonder Man is coming out. Yeah, like the end of this month, right?
Yeah, I think it's the 27th. So yeah, maybe not next week. Maybe next week we can cover it. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, probably 2 weeks. Probably 2 weeks.
Cool. All right. Well, that is it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we will catch